Hi students, welcome to the week 6 overview. So where we are in our writing process for writing project 1 is we are wrapping up the submitting your first draft stage, right? And remember, that's just a first draft. And then this week we're going to focus on seeking feedback, because feedback helps us rethink our paper and think about how we can improve it for when we submit it for the final grade. So everything that we're doing this week is all about that. And so I'm going to go over that with you so you guys kind of know what's going on. We have a couple things new that you haven't done before. So I'm pointing to the relinking of things here, always up here. Reread that prompt as needed. But the other thing I want to mention is I'm linking to the Brain Fuse Writing Lab. Now, I'm calling it a writing lab because I always encourage students to use the writing lab feature, but there's really another feature. You can do 2 different types of tutoring on there. If you are a student who meets with me in our NCBW meetings, I'm going to go over this in more detail in class. For my online students, I've created a little tutorial that I will link to as well and send that to you all. Okay, but it's a good resource. You get feedback really quickly, 24 to 48 hours. And so I do encourage you all to use this tool, even if you don't think you need tutoring as you think of it in the support sense. But it's just another way to get great feedback, okay, and get it quickly. So the other assignment we're doing, and this is a little different. You guys have already done one of these critical thinking and reading assignments. Well, this is the same tool, except this one is a self-evaluation. And so the only difference between the one that you did before in our previous unit and the one you're doing now is you are going to be uploading the draft to this assignment. Now, I am going to give you a little bit of feedback on your drafts through this assignment link. So it's really important that you do it not just for your grade that you get on this assignment as part of your Connect Lab assignments, but this is where I'm going to be giving you the feedback, okay? So you just need to have a copy saved somewhere on your computer, have it in Word document, and then you can upload it and just follow the instructions and the questions and do a little evaluation on your own paper. You'll be surprised how helpful that is to give yourself a little feedback. Your feedback is just as valuable as feedback from others, okay? All right, now I do have a couple videos for you to watch about peer reviewing, because that's going to be our next kind of big part of seeking feedback this week. Now, the peer reviewing has some guidelines and it has some expectations, but the main thing to think about is, you know, don't think about it as you're trying to fix somebody's paper. You're just there to support each other and be a test audience for one another. So that's really what peer reviewing is. However, I wanted to give you guys a couple videos to look at to kind of explain it, because sometimes in an online setting, I'm not sure if it comes across the same way as it does in a face-to-face. It is a little different, but it's still, you get the same benefits from participating in that process, right? It's not just about the feedback you get, it's about the feedback you give and how that helps you with your own writing process. You have a little quiz on the peer reviewing, and I've also created, this is an easy grade you guys can get. It's going to count as another quiz grade, and all you have to do is read the acknowledgement form and sign your name on it, kind of like what we did in that first week a little bit. It's a similar type of form, but I'm giving this to you because I want to emphasize the importance of the ethical part of when we read other students' work, and what is that involved? What's involved in that? There's a lot to think about, and your stories, because this is personal narrative, these are your real stories, or it should be your real stories. That requires care, and that requires a little more focus on why we want to treat one another with respect and not do anything unethical, right? So that's going to be very important. So when you are ready, you will be able to open the peer review assignment. Now, you will be doing 2 peer assignments over the week. You don't have to do them both back to back. You can do one and then come back and do another one later. A couple things to keep in mind with this. This is the same link where you submitted your first draft. Okay, so it's going to take you back into that assignment link. I have instructions, so you want to make sure you read those. But one of the main things you want to make sure that you understand about this assignment, okay, when we go and look at instructions, this is my student view, but your view still may look a little different than mine. Okay, scroll down to the part 2, and this is where all the instructions are, things that you need to make sure you understand and pay attention to. I put very detailed instructions. Okay, so that's why it looks really long, but it's just because I was trying to be very thorough. Now, one of the things I'm going to point to that you need to make sure you do is download the worksheet. You have to do the peer reviews using the worksheet. Okay, because that's me guiding you with questions. I have a lot of different guiding questions. It's not about right answers, wrong answers. It's about, again, you're being a test audience for your peers and just giving some information as a reader, because that's all we want is what is coming across to readers. Because as writers, sometimes we can't tell, and that's why this feedback is so valuable. So make sure you do download the worksheet and complete the worksheet and follow all the instructions for that assignment. All the instructions are there, but you are always welcome to ask me questions if you get stuck or have any other issues. So the other thing I want to mention about the peer review, I'm not going to give you feedback here in this assignment link. Remember, I'm going to give you feedback up here. And the reason I'm not going to give you the feedback here is because I have to get those assignments back fast to you. You won't see your peer feedback until I post a grade. And it takes me a little longer to go through things. And so I'm just going to post a little message that tells you where my feedback's going to be, and then I'm going to submit the grade so you can see the peer review feedback as soon as it's ready. Okay. And the other thing I put in here for you is a resources, same link I gave you in the drafting, but this, if you finish the assignments this week and you have extra time and you want to work on your draft, now's a good time to kind of rethink your paper. You might want to look back at some of those resources and keep working on your draft while you are waiting for all the great feedback you are going to get this week. Okay? All right, everyone, that's it. And as always, if you have any questions or get stumped and need a little assistance, please reach out. Have a great week, everyone.